Hi guys, today I am talking a bit about creating indulgent artwork. That's artwork that you just absolutely love painting, you love the outcome, you love everything about it. And while I talk about that, I'm going to be working on a piece that incidentally I loved painting and I loved creating it. So I want to talk about this because I think it's a problem that probably a lot of us have. I absolutely have that. And that is where I strip away parts of either my process or the end result because I think that it will elevate my piece, because I think it'll take me in the right direction to get better at being an artist, which is a goal that I think probably most artists have. And over the past couple of months, I've been really realizing that in that pursuit, I've taken away things that have given me a lot of joy out of creating artwork and satisfaction out of it. And I want to realign those two things together again. I want to bring back those elements that I love to paint and draw and merge that with where I want to go. What is that not final outcome, but at least the path that I want to take my artwork. There are so many reasons out there why I myself, but probably all of us from time to time, feel like we need to cut things out that we actually truly enjoy out of our artwork. I find myself thinking when I've created too many portrait paintings that I need to stop doing portraits for a while so that I can do a full body, because that's what I need to put on social media so that there's enough variety. And I have caught myself thinking that so many times on like really honestly kind of pointless details in my pieces. I'll create two pieces in a row that have some little commonality and I'll think, "Oh no, I need to not do that on the next one. I need to very specifically do something opposite to that." And I do not want to think that way anymore. I want to take away elements that are truly detracting from the path that I want to take my artwork, and I want to add things in that bring me joy and make my artwork better and make it closer to that path that I want to go down. But I don't want to choose things because I've already done it before, or because I need to avoid doing it because I've done it before. And yeah, that is one of the things that trips me up actually all the time, and I'm trying to unlearn that. And I know that probably it really varies from person to person, but when I look at other people's artwork, at other artists, when they revisit similar themes or things like portraits, just doing a bunch of portraits, I don't get bored. I enjoy seeing those different variations in them. And yeah, I think it's just we're always seeking to be better, to make artwork that other people like more. And in that path, we oftentimes cut away those things that are really enjoyable for us. I know that one of the things that I really, really have to be mindful of is taking comments and little pieces that people say about my artwork or other people's artwork, and then I take that as gospel. I've got to follow that. I need to make sure that I shift around that. So like, one of the things that I read years ago is someone mentioned offhandedly that I had done that I was really into blue and green because I'd done several pieces in a row that had blue and green in it. And it hit me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to do my next piece totally opposite of that. I can't use blue or green anymore. And I've seen that on other artists' artwork where people comment on that they've done a bunch of portraits in a row or whatever the case is, and then it tells me that, oh, I need to pay attention to that because people are paying attention to that and they don't like that. But I want to be completely in control of what kind of artwork that I'm making. I don't want to choose to not make something that I love making and I love drawing because of these offhanded comments that aren't necessarily even negative either. They're just things that people point out. I don't know, really just like the overall thing that I think about with this is that when I'm looking at how people are talking about artwork and interacting with it, enjoying it, I also need to be a little bit more aware of how am I taking that information in, and how am I letting it change the way that I'm working on a piece? Is it letting me shift the way that I feel about working on my favorite things, or am I able to see that and think, okay, is that something that I can take to heart and truly improve my artwork? Is this a direction I want to go in? Or am I really truly happy with just doing portraits? Or, and I say just, but I don't mean just as in a minimizing way, but yeah, do I want to stick with that? Do I want to stick with doing the thing that I love? There's just so many voices out there, whether they're negative or neutral or positive about different things in artwork, whether that makes it better or worse, or whatever the case is. Like people talking down about anime art, or up about, or about things that are more realistic, or vice versa, because of course it can go either way, or about people drawing too many pretty girls, or whatever the case is. There's always going to be opinions on why one type of artwork is better, or why doing something a certain way is better, or why you should always be consistent, or why you should always be different with what you do. There's just so many opinions and voices out there, because art is so subjective. It's so personal that yeah, it can be very easy to get swept up in a certain path, and it's so easy to let us tailor the way that we create our artwork around what other people are saying and thinking, and I don't want that anymore. I want to be able to pick and choose and decide what I really want to create. Anyways, that is a lot of a lot of talking and thinking about that, but the overall takeaway for me personally is I'm working on this piece right now that I absolutely loved. It was a joy to work on painting this dress and focusing on trying to preserve this a certain texture, or I guess shininess of the fabric of the reference that I was looking at. I loved that. I really enjoyed being able to just focus on the character, and I loved the way that I did the line work in this one. I really love using micron pens and creating very dynamic line work. And those are all things that moving forward I want to consider more as I work on my pieces. I also, while I did really enjoy working on just this standalone character, no background or anything interacting with her, I do know that moving forward, most of my pieces, I want there to be a background and a composition. I want there to be more going on, because that's the kind of artwork that I feel most satisfied creating. But I really enjoyed doing it this time as kind of a treat. It's like a little dessert where I know that I want to work on things that have more components, that make it a little bit more challenging. Those are kind of like my dinner, my nutritious things that I eat. But then letting myself create these like character artworks that are just focusing on a character, that's kind of like the little dessert where I can strip away all the other stuff that does add a little extra stress, or things that I get tripped up on, or can take a little bit more time, or aren't as fun, and I can just strip it down to the fun stuff. And I don't know, just working on this makes me want to interject this kind of piece more into the work that I am creating. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments, though. What are things that you love creating but you feel from social pressures, or whatever that case may be for you, that you can't work on, or that you've stopped working on, or you stopped and then you came back to it and realized that was your true passion, your true calling? I would love to hear it. I'd love to hear what your take is on this, on working on the things that you love that aren't necessarily always as appreciated, I guess, in the way that people talk about it. I don't know. It's just I find that really the true voice for me that ends up swaying me away from the things that I love is myself. I'm the one who's saying, well, I need to do it this way for it to be good. I need it to be that way for it to be closer to these artists that I love, and trying to rein that in. I absolutely want that voice to be speaking to me, because I do want to get better, and I do have art goals that I'm working on reaching, and I'm getting closer to them every day. But it's easy to lose sight of what that end goal really should be. I mentioned that I was working on 2 other character paintings that are in the vampire ball theme, and I've put more of that artwork over on Instagram as well as, of course, my Patreon. So those 2 links are down in the description, so you can go and see those other characters a little bit more in detail. And I do have the original paintings of these characters at my shop. There is a link down in the description if you would like to check that out and give them a new home. And I have a link to my Patreon. These are part of the June theme Vampire Ball. So anyone signed up by the end of June, that's the very last day of June, and you sign up for the very top tier, these will be in your package. And there's also the postcard tier that will also be the Vampire Ball theme, but I haven't created that artwork yet. I'm really excited to do that. But I want to give a huge thank you to all of my patrons over on Patreon. You guys are absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough for your support and for voting on this theme for this month. I was really excited to work on it. But that's it for today. So I will be back next time with some more art content, some more painting.